Hi everyone, I just want to take a few minutes to address the question of, help, my products are not working. My Plexus products are not giving me the results that I'd hope they would get. Maybe this is you, maybe you've been on the products for, a few weeks, few months or longer, or maybe this is someone on your team that you're trying to help troubleshoot or encourage, and just how do you handle that question when they tell you that the products are not working? And to me, when someone says that the products are not working, it reflects a little bit of a misunderstanding about what these products are supposed to be doing in our bodies and how they do that. And so I just kind of want to address that a little bit and encourage anyone who's maybe dealing with that to kind of look at the bigger picture a little bit. So when someone says the products aren't working, what they really mean is that my symptoms have not resolved. Whatever it was that I thought Plexus was going to help me with has not resolved at this point. And that may be in a really short window that they were hoping that would have happened, or it might be longer. But that's really what we're getting down to, is the symptoms that we're dealing with. So what I want to kind of talk about is what Plexus is intending to do in your body, and how that differs from, say, medication, which is kind of what we're kind of accustomed to thinking about when it comes to our symptoms. So much of the medication we take, and I'm not anti-medication by any stretch, but so much of the medication that we take is strictly oriented towards masking our symptoms. So if we take Advil for a headache, it's just relieving the pain, the symptom of that headache. It's not addressing the question of why am I getting this headache. If we're taking antidepressants, it doesn't take the depression away. It just makes the symptoms more manageable. So what Plexus is not is a symptom manager. And so that's why we always encourage patience, we encourage consistency, because what you're really trying to do here is help your body do what it's supposed to be doing, what it's designed to do, and do that more effectively. And everybody's body is going to reach that place in a different time frame. And that's one thing that can be frustrating for some people, but I think it's just a manifestation of how amazing our bodies are, that this is not, all of us are not going to respond in the exact same way to these supplements, just the way that all of us don't respond the exact same way to certain types of medication. But the way that supplements differ from medication, and I'm talking about really good supplements, not, the stuff that's full of additives and fillers and stuff like that, that is not going to be effective in your body. But with Plexus, what you're dealing with is all of these ingredients that you're taking, whether in your triplex or you've added on X Factor, maybe Mega X, any of those other products, is you're giving your body stuff that it needs. So there's no denying that. Your body needs chromium, it needs magnesium. The studies are mounting on a monthly basis on the importance of gut health and taking probiotics and prebiotics, and all of the stuff that we're getting out of these supplements is stuff that your body needs. So whether you have any symptoms manifesting that or not, you need this stuff. And everything in this is going to help your body function in the way that it's intended to function. So when someone says the products aren't working, I'm like saying, that's like saying that eating your fruits and vegetables isn't working. Like, what does that mean exactly? Like, your body needs this stuff. So of course it's working. Plexus supplements are amazing. We use the best ingredients. It's as bioavailable as it can get. So this stuff is nourishing your body. And you're just saying that at this point you haven't seen that manifest in a relief of whatever symptoms it was that you were hoping it would help you with. So I just like to say that so that you can understand what these things are doing in your body. They're nourishing your body, they're healing your gut, they're helping your body with its enzymatic processes. All of those things, that's just a fact that's happening in your body. And getting to a point where you feel like the relief and symptoms that you're getting is worth what you're investing in the supplements, that can vary. And I would say, even if you never noticed anything from these supplements symptom wise, it would be worth taking them, in my opinion, based on what I know about the body and the gut and all of those kind of things. I would say it's worth it. And I know people that have started these supplements strictly for preventative health. They didn't necessarily have any significant health issues they were wanting help with. They just knew, whether it was something that ran in their family or something like that, they wanted to protect themselves, and they knew the importance of gut health and making sure they weren't deficient in certain nutrients, so that their body can, their immune system can function at its highest levels, so that they don't encounter these symptoms that so many of us deal with related to the health of our gut, so that their body is equipped to fight free radicals and other cancer-causing cells as they age, and things like that. All of those things would be worth it, even if you didn't have any symptoms to manage, because of the way that our bodies work. But with that said, I know that most people come to Plexus because they're hoping for help with those symptoms. So whether, there's the long list of symptoms that are associated with gut health, whether that's, depression, anxiety, mood issues, digestive issues, I'm gonna blank on the list here, but the list goes on and on of what is impacted by our gut. And the timeline that everyone's gonna see that on is just gonna be different. So I've had people that seriously day 3 of the slim, they're like, oh my gosh, I have so much energy and I'm experiencing this and that. You might have someone who says, the day I started Plexus, I haven't had a single migraine since then, or my digestive issues are totally resolved. You might have a friend that said they were a new person 2 weeks in. That is fantastic. But then you will also hear stories of people that didn't notice anything for 2 months, even close to 3 months. And then all of a sudden they kind of started noticing small changes in their body, and how their symptoms were manifesting. And in all honesty, it can take longer than that. Usually we say, you got to give it a minimum of 90 days, minimum. And will you see all the results that you'll ever have on Plexus in 90 days? No. And that's because your body is healing. And our symptoms are just a manifestation of a deeper problem. And what Plexus is doing is it's getting to the core of that issue. And so the timeline in which you're going to see relief of those symptoms doesn't mean that nothing's happening. It just means that your body's healing. So in that first 90 days, you're detoxing, your body's working stuff out in the gut. You may notice changes, you may notice it gets worse, and you may notice it gets better. But regardless, things are happening. So that's why you gotta give it 90 days at a minimum to see if your body can get through that detox period and you can start seeing an improvement in your symptoms. And I would say if in that 90-day period you've noticed some positive changes, but maybe not all of them, you gotta stick with it. That means that things are happening. That means that this is addressing the issues that are underlying your problems. Why would you quit on your body when that's happening? So when someone gets to the end of their 3 months, they say, I noticed a little something, but for the money I'm paying for it, it's just not worth it to me. Like that's a choice everyone gets to make. But if you're seeing some relief in your symptoms, that's just evidence that that things are happening under the surface and you're healing. And if you continue that process, you'll continue to see improvements in those symptoms because you're fixing the problem. It's not like you just threw a Band-Aid on it or threw water on the fire, and there's still all this smoke going on. You're getting to the root of the problem, and that's going to take your body time. So when I tell someone 90 days, I don't want that to be like the limit on, okay, and then you'll know. But I want you to see that and say, okay, so this will show me, okay, things are happening, things are changing in my body. If you went through a detox, it's just evidence that, your body needs to heal, and that may take longer than the 90 days, but I think that at least sets you up to see, okay, there's stuff going on here that needs to be addressed. I got to stick with it. So with all that said, 2 things. We do want to make sure you're taking your products correctly, okay? So if you're really not noticing anything, you need to be talking and working with your sponsor or your most knowledgeable uplines about how to get the most out of your products. So make sure you're taking them at the right time, that you're getting your water in, all of these things. There is a fantastic video that Lori Welch and Amber Miller and Wendy Larson did a little while back on troubleshooting slow results with the products. That's a fantastic video. Make sure that you're doing everything correctly by all means. Make sure you're on the right products for what you're dealing with. So talk to your upline about that. If that means you need to add in X factor or whatever that is. Some people have such severe gut issues that we need to modify the triplex temporarily while they go through their healing process. So by all means, make sure that you're on the right track with that. And secondly, I just say, I'm a pragmatist, okay? So I get it that everyone with their limited resources has to make good decisions for their family about what they can afford and a cost-benefit analysis of is this worth it to me? So I get that. And so I get if you're sitting there, 2.5 months in saying, I just don't know if I'm seeing what I need to see to validate to me or to my husband or, whatever it is, that this is worth it for me. And so I get that. And I just want to equip you with the knowledge of what's happening in your body so that you know that this is something that's worth fighting for. And I frankly can't think of anything more pragmatic than investing in your health and something that's truly healing your body, rather than going over the next year, 2 years, and multiple decades continuing to mask symptoms without ever having really dealt with the core issue. I think that is the most pragmatic thing that we can do, frankly. And I was a network marketing hater. I'll go ahead and say it. Before I did Plexus, I just thought it was kind of sketch, and that just a way to hit up your friends that have money to buy something that they probably don't need. Okay, that was my opinion on it. So I get that's the impression. But what I love about what Plexus has done with their business model is they've made it so doable to cover your product costs so that you can continue this healing journey without it being a financial burden. Because everyone needs this, and because it takes time, I recommend get some people on board with you. Explain this stuff to friends and family members so they know that this is worth investing in for them too. It's not just that you're selling them something, you're partnering with people you love to get yourself to a place of health. So, you don't have to go in this full bore with a business if you don't want to, but by partnering with some people that you love, you can make back anything you've ever invested in Plexus and beyond. I take a lot of Plexus supplements, and it has frankly not cost our family a dime, because I've made back anything plus more that I've ever spent on these supplements. So I just want to encourage you with that's just a way to look at it pragmatically, of like, how can I make this workable, financially sustainable for me to invest in my health in this way? And your symptoms will come along with that, but I just don't like there to be kind of this idea that if we don't have the relief and symptoms on a very short timetable, that therefore it's not worth it. So I hope this is helpful, whether for you or for one of your team members. And again, be working with your upline, make sure you're getting the most out of the products, but mostly just invest in yourself and fight for yourself, and the health that your body deserves, and the healing that's already happening as you're working on these products.